Questing for titles. Golden arches on an elevated billboard glowed in the dark of the night, illuminated internally by mana lamps and offering the surroundings its only source of illumination. The lights glowed brighter than it ever did before, which allowed the words beneath the sign to stand out even more starkly. Both words and viscera decorated the billboard. Over 1 million served at this location. Dried blood, poisoned spittle, and globules of torn flesh covered one portion of the sign, much of it originating from the ground beneath the sign and leading all the way to the sole standing building in its expansive parking lot. To the right of the group that stared at the billboard stood their goal, little concrete barriers helping to designate the drive-through windows. Knee-high, clear glass windows offered a view of the inside, where overpowered fluorescent lights powered by mana illuminated the familiar red and yellow upholstery and white plastic tables. In the corners, where light failed to penetrate, shadow figures moved within. Of course, only one of the parties would recognize what was normal for fluorescent lights. Of the 3 that stood before the building, one was native human, barely breaking 5 feet in height, clad in a simple white blouse and black slacks that gave her a business-casual demeanor. As she stood, she fiddled with the glasses that she still wore, frames adjusted to remove any magnification or light refraction and offer additional data on the system world. For most, though, it was the other 2 who would have brought an exclamation of surprise, at least 5 years back, unless you were at a cosplay convention. Before the system apocalypse, before the changing of everything. One of the figures was over 6.5 feet tall, muscled like a steroid-ridden bodybuilder with a simple orange mohawk. More importantly, his green skin and tusks gave clear indication of the Hakarta's origins. The space orc wore an eccentric combination of modern tactical wear and silver medieval armor over his body, tactivest holding the double-bladed axe and the pair of belted beam pistols. The third figure was a Menahune, a 3-foot-tall, chubby and happy pink figure who carried a bow slung over his shoulder and a quiver of arrows by his hip. Mostly, though, the Menahune watched the surroundings, fingers twitching by his side, mana flowing from its eyes and body. The system has a sense of humor, it seems. This is the 998th such establishment, and there are hundreds more turned into a dungeon, the Hakarta said. It doesn't normally highlight individual establishments when they are of great cultural importance.
Well, they did serve over 1 million humans, the Menahune said.
An errant gust of wind brought the stench of rotting corpses to the group. It was strange, but even the smell of rotting flesh had changed since the system, as monsters and aliens whose body compositions were entirely different from the carbon-based life forms of Earth made their way over. This one, mixed with the usual breakdown of human and animal flesh, also consisted of a slight, almost sweet smell, reminiscent of smoked paprika, cinnamon, and of course, rotten eggs.
"We told you before, if you wish to speak, speak up," the Menahune shouted.
The youngster flinched, tucking her head low. But at the urgings of the Menahune, she looked up and saw his status once more. Kyaz Zeal, Brotherhood of Title Guides, Yellow Initiate, Slayer of Goblins, Partaker of Feasts, the Variable Discipline of Moya, Appreciator of the Music of Kyaz, more. Level 18 Kismarno's Guide, AV-14. Con Variable, 9x mil 43, 254 of 254. Mana Absorb, Xnag, Regen, Overflow, W-GRAS, 540 of 540. As always, it took her a few seconds to put together the information that had been showcased to her, comparing it to the same information that she had on her sheet. Shiping, Wen, Earth Food Guide, Level 2, AM. Health, Conver, 160 of 160. Mana, Absorbo Reg, 180 of 180. The status screen alteration that she had paid for 11 restaurants back had made understanding other people's status information so much easier.